it's
We are the reality distortion field. We are the reality distortion field. We are the reality distortion field. The falsehood will demonize your sensitivity. The falsehood will claim the press is our enemy. To cry fake news, then preempt remedy suggests false identity. We are the reality distortion field. We are the reality distortion field. The fielding is real and the real is real. We are the reality distortion field. We are the reality distortion field. The falsehood will tell you intuition's faulty. The falsehood will tell you facts aren't factual actually. We are the reality distortion field. We
Yes. Yes, we are the reality distortion fieldings. Hello, I'm Tim at the Mystery Font in Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the intersection of the meaning of life and free humanity. This is Burgles. I'm just getting a bit of coffee. Well, you see, Burgles and I go a ways back. I've been seeing Burgles here in the Mystery Font for 5 years now. Burgles keeps getting closer, and I think parts of Burgles have already started to hit. But Burgles is stealing closer and closer and closer. I dare say Burgles is just about run aground. We are dealing with the bad ship manifest destiny. It is a white ice tooth. Not to be confused with porcelain. Not to be confused the bad ship manifest destiny takes everyone to the same place. It aims to take us to the wrong side of history. And I think there's something to share about that. About what a leader does and how they protect the world how does a president preside pretend it's not a consumable item that the beholder wants to consume. Pretend instead that we're talking about a world. But where are we going? What are we going to see through? How do we see this world? I mean, I can see Burgles here, but I'm asking that we step into the bandwidth of meaning. Here at the Mystery Font, that's possible. It's possible where you are too. I'm just able to show what I can show. You see, there's Burgles there. We wouldn't normally be able to see so much, but there's a dilation and a refraction that happens in how we're able to apprehend what's coming our way. It's about the prehension of all of the minds in the new Colossus. And just like we would be able to somehow knit together a substrate, a vision, and how it happens most profoundly in the Statue of Liberty, it can happen anywhere. And there's something about this place, at the intersection of free humanity and the meaning of life, that brings to light a great many stories. It actually sort of makes available connection, to the bandwidth of meaning that we share. It's always there, but how would we see it? What if it were possible for each of us to see the aura around us, or to see some characteristic of us? For instance, what if the personification of all minds imagining democracy were evident and able to have a conversation with, and an up close and personal with, Burgles, the approaching shape of manifest destiny as white supremacist patriarchal terrorism? What if the shape of all of our minds imagining democracy could be accessible as a point of connecting minds, as a hive consciousness, as a morphically resonant collected consciousness, a nexus of mind? What would this mind be able to say? What would this mind holding some light be able to share about its own insight? Because what it is to see that an entire lifetime of assumptions about it wasn't so bad and my ancestors were kind to the people that they threatened with murder, don't run, work our horrible fields. What kinds of lies are we telling to ourselves? What kinds of lies do we have no need to sustain and no excuse to do so? But this is where we are, a nexus of all minds able to connect. And the stories of all minds are at once accessible. And each of us is one fragment of the new Colossus, and able to sense something coming, and maybe to have some sort of sensor to see it coming. And so a leader, each one of us, as president of our own mind, as the executive function of our own mind, each one of us as a guardian of liberty, of ourself, or of our family, or if we're a leader in some sense of our community or country, if we see something, we say something. And we have duty to all the nation, as it is a constitutional republic, a democratically representational republic based in democratic elections and rule of law and bedrock like habeas corpus. That's not something to smash new spikes into and break up. It's there for everyone, or we are asunder. We can see something coming and say it, but what if the person we choose can't quite handle seeing something come? What if we've seen signs of this before? What if we've seen signs of this before? What if we saw signs of it in 2021?
We are the renovation.
Perpendicular trains. Parallel against pain.
Imagination.
Parallel against hate. Parallel against pain. Radio's against brain.
We are the renovation.
Perpendicular trains. Parallel against hate. Parallel against pain.
This whole occupation.
Perpendicular trains. Parallel against hate. Parallel against hate. Parallel against pain.
Awake.
Perpendicular trains. Parallel against hate.
We are more near the break. We can ease any ache. Everything we have took, everything we can take.
Six the feet of separation. Six the fear of separation.
The falsehood will tell you intuition's faulty. The falsehood will tell you facts aren't factual actually. The falsehood will tell you intuition's faulty. The falsehood will tell you facts aren't factual actually. The falsehood will tell you intuition's faulty. The falsehood will tell you facts aren't factual actually. The falsehood will tell you intuition's faulty. The falsehood will tell you facts aren't factual actually.
You know, it's interesting because the first person who we called con artist, person that minted that name upon themselves, did so by claiming to people that they had cultivated charming, posh conversation with in New York streets. They said to them, you know, wouldn't you know it, my watch is broken and I have an important appointment tomorrow. We've had such a lovely conversation. I feel as if I know I could trust you with my own watch. Say, would you have the confidence in me to lend me your watch? They would ask, and there's obviously nothing wrong with human need. In fact, it is the cultivation of an idea that need is something to be doubted that is problematic. But here we are to note that politicians indeed ask us also to allow them to hold the watch for us. And it's not just something that is a talisman and a marker of time, a tool by which we device through the world. But the watch that we give a politician is, well, something akin to the movie A Few Good Men, you know? whether we consider this shape in front of us here, hopefully not just a yo-yo on a string, but if this is a world that we endeavor to hold together or to be held by together, do we not see something threatening our habitat? Do we not see something severely threatening our habitat? I want to bring up the idea of Nathan Jessup. Nathan Jessup from A Few Good Men talks about the uncomfortable truth that we need people doing a serious job of being lookout. And that is part of the very gritty, apparently quite masculine, at least purported to be masculine, and apparently very mature, like very professional and intellectually rigorous and resilient and honest to the point of halcyon human form, that they deal in things like honor and truth, because there is somebody who has to be there guarding us and looking out over the wall. And in a democratic nation, we elect someone to preside for the rest of us. So we have someone who's on the wall. Donald Trump is elected to be on the wall, or where he best feels able to continue his duty of seeing if something's coming and saying something appropriate to not sabotage us, to not look out for his interest and hold a card that he will play when it's best for him to play it, in evolving games that may open up or that may be also in construction. A coming iceberg of, say, like a pandemic, and hearing from the Obama administration that there indeed probably will be a pandemic in the next decade. And here's all of our intelligence, and instead of adhering to any of that, they sort of laugh it off and get rid of the pandemic team. And now we're dealing with someone who should be able to can handle the truth. That's a thing, that the person who says, I want the watch, if I want to take the watch and say, I'm the one keeping time on what's safe and are we all okay, I will be executive function for 3 branches of government. I will be the executive branch's chief executive. I should have executive function over, above anyone else. I should be able to not have it over them, but because I'm asking for the office, I'm the one who is most expected to be able to have executive function, to not make stupid, rash decisions, like, say, incinerating 1 million pounds of food. To not make rash decisions, like, say, stealing trillions of dollars from people who are paying in with their work and their ownership, which is their life, and paying into it with work and time of their life, you actually thieve people's time and life and liberty and our pursuit of happiness is sabotaged. If you see something, say something. If you're guarding something and not holding it like a toy, things look different. My question is, can Donald handle the truth? Can Donald actually handle?
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Donald cannot handle the truth. I think it's demonstrable that we gave Donald the watch once before, and he broke that oath. And now that we've given to him the watch again, I see sabotage. I see sabotage, dereliction of duty, and waste and fraud. I see sabotage in doing things like gutting Noah, because satellites that give us information are part of public trust, and that's billions and trillions of dollars that we've put in. Those are investments that you don't piss away. You don't rupture and destroy things you don't understand. But that's what we're dealing with. We have someone displaying ongoing disqualifying character and conduct. And at a basic level, the problem we've seen it before. We've seen it from George Orwell. It's this idea the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. Now, what exactly is happening here? I see we have a world that is sitting here more imperiled by someone removing our ability to see what's happening on this world. That we are removing satellites to privatize them so that people will not be able to depend on weather reports unless they pay a heavy fee. We don't get our weather in the paper. We get weather if we have the right kind of papers. But this is more than just another massive cash grab. It's disempowerment. It is sabotage of contract. And Donald Trump normalizes this kind of theft. But it is dereliction of duty. It is dereliction of duty if we're not shutting down planet Earth, if we're not shutting down America, then there is a duty for us to be able to trust that sirens will sound when there's an emergency, and that the people who are monitoring things have equipment that's up to date, let alone it hasn't been crashed into the ocean. We're dealing with sabotage. We're dealing with sabotage outright. And the idea that that NASA would crash something into the ocean or decommission things that can last and continue to sustain us just because Donald Trump is afraid of the words climate change. Science does deal with fact. It does deal with empirical fact. We do have language. We can find common language. Or we can know the people we're dealing with do not display good faith. At some point, we need to recognize we're dealing with bad faith actors. We're dealing with someone who has donned not only an age of falsehood, but has donned a cowl of mechanisms of constant Darvo. We are not able sufficiently as a population, we're not able to recognize the true identity of the one who has donned the falsehood. That is quite clear. And because they are aided by the stinky Stephen Miller, most fragrantly known as M. Stephen Miller is M. We're dealing with a party that has ruptured into simply being a political wing of the Ku Klux Klan. We're dealing with Confederacy. We're definitely dealing with sabotage. Taking out NOAA and commanding the destruction of satellites that's something on the level of plucking out our eyes. Why on earth would we pluck out our eyes? Why? Why would we trust a leader so terrified of science that they don't like that they shit away $1 billion. That is, there are many words for that. One of them is sin. It is sin to waste the work, lifetimes of work of people to put together an apparatus that helps us see. Because what's interesting to him is that he can do it. He can push a button, and now people are ordered to destroy things that are essentially gift made by humanity for us to better know what is happening. And there is nothing like the wanton idiocy of a person who would sabotage and destroy this kind of infrastructure. This should be regarded as crime against humanity, because this is how we are seeing and recording our carbon cycle. We are understanding things better. But what I'm arguing here for is that we don't allow Donald Trump to claw out our eyes. I'm proposing that we don't allow Donald Trump to claw out our eyes. I'm not sure if that makes sense to anybody, if that seems like maybe a little overboard, that we wouldn't want someone to do that. But don't we want to prevent liberty from being blind? Justice and liberty are not the same. If we're going archetype here, the Statue of Liberty, liberty can see. With or without eyes, liberty can see, but liberty is not blind. We can see for ourselves, or find people to see for us, or develop new mechanisms of sight. The blind can see through echolocation. There are different ways of seeing, but we do not sabotage or destroy our sight or our hearing. We do not destroy our sensitive array that lets us know what is happening. Somebody who doesn't care, somebody who does not care, if you don't care about or don't like what the science is saying, change the channel. You don't bomb the station. Change the channel. This is recording and giving us information. And Donald Trump is talking about sabotaging this satellite, which lets us know about what is happening here. Again, the slow motion, rendering in real time of Burgle's approach. The iceberg is hitting. The concussive waves and little shards that have split off and hit shore over the last few months. Ice is hitting. The iceberg of manifest destiny of white supremacist patriarchal terrorism is there. I believe it's the falsehood steering and riding that ship. I believe we found material of the white hoods and sheets. It's coming out of the walls. All of this evidence. It's all recorded here. It all shows up in the mystery font. And I don't know if you can see it, but Burgles is continuing to get closer. But just like Trump heard financial data that is just numbers and said no, off with their job, off with their... And now we maybe just don't have a way to be able to trust fact anymore in reporting from the federal government. That's sabotage. That's dereliction of duty. These are all shocking boundary violations. They're all shocking boundary violations. But what kind of waste and fraud? This is not just, shutting off a satellite that can function or intentionally steering it into the earth. These are acts of massive vandalism. They're acts of vandalism against our species and also against the creatures with whom we share the habitat and that we are absolutely fucking up. Wanton ignorance. This is blinding us. This is making us dumb. And we have to stop it. We cannot accept someone removing our eyes and ears. We cannot allow someone to desensitize us What's the whole point of the quote from Orwell? What's the whole point of the quote from Orwell? In 1984, this final command the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. The insistence that someone reject the evidence of your eyes and ears and take in exactly and only what you are given by the state that's a problem. That's our problem. That's our massive, massive problem. It's indeed insane. We should not have this to fear. But we're having a normalizing, numbing kind of submission that seems to entrench in a lot of people. And this is not something to allow or normalize. This is not something to allow or normalize. we are in danger. We are in massive, massive danger. We are in massive danger. A leader who sabotages our ability to prove that nature and our apprehension of it is not a hoax. This is reality substrate stuff. The saboteur saying they will not accept, they will not accept reality. That's a deal breaker. That's a deal breaker. You want to loose our expectation from us that we can count on a leader dealing like honestly and responsibly with fact. We get to say what happens to us. And having given the watch to Donald Trump, I allege it is a useful conflation to make as we consider what it means to elect someone and what it means that they hold office, what they're holding. He has the watch. That means he's the one who's responsible to be in charge, for the executive branch to be the one on the wall or the one to whom people report. That's his job. Donald's job is to be the one who gets intelligence. He's being given a plane that will be outfitted with $1 billion of technology. Literally $1 billion of work is going to go into it. And he's about to crash a satellite that we spent nearly $1 billion on, and that has, the life's work of multiple people, most likely. Multiple people. Multiple. The life work of multiple people, obviously. But the kind of data being collected here, it's absolutely vandalistic. These are the heights that we have climbed to. We can have this incredibly sensitive array online telling us more information. The idea of destroying what will record evidence is very much part of what's in the mix here. This is sabotage, because what the satellites he is decommissioning and sabotaging and vandalizing would be doing is recording his crime. He's shutting off the security system. He's shutting off the TV and video recording. He's shutting off the body cam. He's shutting off the body cam. He's shutting off the life monitor. He's shutting off another massive part of our infrastructure of how we care for one another. The way that they gaslight that they really care about misbehavior from others shows where they're going all the time, because they hold this shame. These sadistic, mercenary, right-wing fascist bigots, they truly do project where they're going. We're dealing with sabotage that is linked to eugenics and mass murder and white supremacist patriarchal terrorism and enslavement of most of society. Because our ability to steward our habitat right now is definitely dependent. It's dependent on our ability to know anything about reality that we can hold and share together. And at every turn, it seems pretty clear that there's a facsimile that's being stretched over our eyes. But why is that happening? What is the point of this new version that's now applied? And here's the thing. It matters. It matters that we have consent to know what we're looking at. It matters that we can ask a question and know that we're going to get an answer that's legitimate and that we can check out and trust. I'm creating an overlay to share my own neighborhood of make-believe, the bandwidth of meaning with you in real time. But someone else might have, another reason to do that. But I will be honest about it. And at any rate, there it is. Now, we're attempting some kind of let's try this. There we are. So, actually. There we go. There we go. Ah, well, that would do it. That's more like it. So. There we go. Right? Not that. There we go. I think I'm going to leave this layering. This is becoming technically diffuse in a way that I had not anticipated. It's not exactly what I'm looking for here. Let's see. That's fine, actually. What we have. There we go. The con artist asked, just give me your watch and I'll return it tomorrow. Donald doesn't know how to treat the watch that we gave him. And instead, he really shat all over our expectation, our safety. He really doesn't care. In fact, maybe it's better to say that he cares a lot about degrading and defiling us. I would say that that is maybe much more definitive and clear, that we can see. I would say quite clearly Donald Trump, I would say, shows disqualifying character and conduct. And his conduct is, without a doubt, full of existential threats to our habitat. It is insane and asinine and incredible waste and fraud to destroy a satellite that cost $750 million just to put up. He's doing this because he is destroying evidence. Oops, daisy. Let's see here. Whoa. Where are we? There we go. I mean, let's say it, yes? It is destruction of evidence of climate change. So this is pretty basic horror level crap. We shouldn't be dealing with anybody sabotaging technology. We shouldn't be dealing with anybody sabotaging science. We shouldn't be accepting this. We should stop this as Americans. We should stop this as human beings, because this is categorically sabotage and vandalism. This is horrific vandalism. Without a doubt, this kind of vandalism is seditious. It is seditious. It is part of what we should be able to expect from our president. We should be able to expect, basic care. We should be able to expect a lack of vandalism of public services, a lack of vandalism of public trust. We should be able to trust that. It's absolutely insane. We need to stop this nonsense. NASA should not be on board with this shit. It's absolutely insane. It's not okay. It's not okay. So, like, for real, let's get this taken care of. This is illegal. NASA reportedly ordered to destroy important OCO satellite. The satellite is fully functional, providing valuable data, and may be soon burned up in our atmosphere out of choice. This is sabotage. This is absolutely sabotage. Trump is conducting sabotage. Yet again, Trump is conducting sabotage. Again and again and again, he is conducting sabotage. Musk and Vogt are vandalizing. They are literally blinding us. These ridiculous vandals, these ridiculous vandals, hokum and sabotage. Elon Musk came in and has already killed millions of people. Millions more will die because of what he's done to USAID, because of what they've done to regulatory agencies. And Russ Vogt is absolutely a member of the Ku Klux Klan. We are dealing with abhorrent, dark triad predators. They need to be removed. They need to be arrested. We are dealing with abhorrent predators. We should have known. We should have known, not to shame us, but we should know now. We are dealing with someone who has all the signs that we are all individually, each of us, in an abusive relationship with Donald Trump. You are in an abusive relationship. Shocking boundary violations are one common grooming tactic of a narcissist or dark triad personality. If someone
in your life points into a camera, knowing you'll be looking at the view screen, and pulls their finger like a trigger, looking into your eyes, saying, I could shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone. It is a good indicator of a bad situation. You are in an abusive relationship. Who has leveraged and climbed upon a fog of falsehood? Who has donned the falsehood? Who is the falsehood?
Sets the fear of separation. Six, the fear of separation. He didn't mean to cause a panic. He didn't mean to cause a panic. Prepared people can plan and plan quick. He didn't mean to cause a panic. He meant to draw iceberg Titanic.
So this real card doesn't understand that you can do permanent damage by looking at an eclipse. And this, by the way, is the person who we also are concerned about his ability to read. Well, you know, searing the middle of your vision field can do some damage to being able to read as well. But this person who doesn't understand basic optics, this is the person we're supposed to trust that mind about crashing a satellite into Earth that could see for us and could also capture evidence. For reals. For reals. Aha. Also, just to bring back again, just like on January 6th, the question should be asked with something like destroying or proposing the destruction of satellites that record valuable scientific data, that if it were, it's functional, it's telling us what's happening. If he doesn't want to know what's happening, that sounds to me like someone who...
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
I think Trump can't handle the truth. Trump can't handle the truth. If he doesn't like the truth, he fires the people who report the truth. If he doesn't like the truth, he destroys the technology worth millions or billions of dollars to vandalize us and degrade and defile us, as well as to stop the recording of evidence. It's sadistic and seditious vandalism because it is recording evidence. It is recording evidence. It is destruction of evidence of existential threats to our habitat. That is what we're dealing with. Don't let this out of your mind until we know we have saved this for humankind. Remember, he's trying to crash $750 of satellite built with our tax dollars. That's criminal, and it is definitely, most super definitely, it is waste and fraud. It is waste and fraud. To destroy these things, it is waste and fraud. Such technology helps everyone. It is absolutely insane. It is dereliction of duty, it is waste and fraud, and it is sabotage. It is insane. It is absolutely insane. Even if it's misspelled, it's probably even seemingly more insane. Let's just make sure we've got that spelling. All right. Oh, we're okay. That's good. We're dealing with insane waste and fraud. To do this is to torture us. It is a massive conflict of interest here. It should be very, very clear, the massive conflict of interest. Because it is in Donald Trump's interest to remove evidence of dereliction of duty. And removing this satellite from existence, removing a data collecting array like this, is destruction of evidence that we have paid money to gather. This is our smoke detector. This is our smoke detector. For real, this is our smoke detector. Like, what the Capitol Falcon Crest is this maniac doing? We need to stop asking and start telling whatever game you're playing, no. No, you do not get to sabotage humanity. You don't get to sabotage humanity. You do not get to sabotage humanity. This is sabotage that's not just conducted on us, it's conducted on everyone on Earth. And Trump does not have the right to sabotage humanity. He does not have the right. Let's, of course, all recognize we are dealing with an ongoing invasion from Project 2025. Let's understand we are dealing with the throes of, hopefully the last throes, of white supremacist patriarchal terrorism, but it is rancid. It is rancid. But we need to hold fast to all we can of the world built in trust and built in fostering common language and society together. Donald Trump is working to cement a different reality. For reality, we must fight. For reality, we must fight. Donald Trump is absolutely working to disassemble reality, such that his supersedes. We must continue to pilot reality distortions with alacrity and care. For reality, we must fight. Trump does not have the right to sabotage humanity. Satellites, our senses, are not to be destroyed. Sabotage is something we need to prevent. Keep our satellites online. Protect our data. Protect our ability to collect evidence that climate change is happening during this horrific time. We cannot let the murderer turn off all of the cameras in the hotel on the way in to do damage. Why would he want to destroy this? Because he doesn't want a body cam. Keep our satellites online. Keep our satellites online. Keep our satellites online. We are dealing with sabotage. We need to speak out about this. We need to demand that sabotage stops. We can't allow sadistic, degrading sabotage to destroy our reality or our safety, we're dealing with seditious vandalism. Speak up and stop this. This is insane. Destruction of evidence of existential threats to our habitat. That is what you're doing if you are taking out satellites that tell us about carbon, satellites that tell us about climate change. It is destruction of evidence. It is disqualifying character and conduct again and again and again and again from this horrific, abominable cretin who has taken control of the White House. This disgusting, patriarchal, terrorist, white supremacist occupation is conducting horrific vandalism and sabotage. We must fight for reality. He does not have the right to sabotage humanity. We are the reality distortion fielding. And when someone claws out our eyes, they are sicking a feat of separation upon us.
6 the feet of separation. 6 degrees of separation. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. 6 the feet of separation. He didn't mean to cause a panic. You didn't mean to cause a panic. Prepared people can plan and plan quick. You didn't mean to cause a panic. He meant to draw iceberg Titanic. He didn't mean to cause a panic yet. 6 the feet of separation. 6 the feet of separation. 6 the feet of separation. The Nazis lost in World War II. As Ally radar read their crew, and what we knew was probably due. The great American wall builder said, I know what to do. just let it through. He didn't mean to cause a panic. He didn't mean to cause a panic. Yet 6 feet of separation. 6 feet of separation. 6 feet of separation. To guard a tree and leave a stump. I don't perceive a guardian. To guard a tree and leave a stump. I don't perceive a guardian. To guard a tree and leave a stump. I don't perceive a guardian. To guard a tree and leave a stump. That's not what I call guardian. You embody a jewel trump. You're a real card, your father's son. You're a real card, your father's suit. You're a real card, your father's loot. It's not the thing you swear upon. It's what your heart was. It's what your heart was. It's what your heart will not abandon. It's what your heart won't abandon. It's what your heart won't abandon. It's how your word becomes action. It's that your words an honest one. How long must you menace us? You do die.
I made a speech. I looked out. The field was, it looked like 1.5 million people. They showed a field where there were practically nobody standing there.
The new White House press secretary, Sean Spicer, gave his first press briefing. He was also highly critical of some media organisations of the way he felt they had misrepresented the number of people who'd attended Friday's inauguration ceremony.
No one had numbers because the National Park Service, which controls the National Mall, does not put any out. This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe.
It does not excuse, and you did not answer the question.
I did answer your question.
No, you did not. You did not answer the question of why the president asked the White House press secretary to come out in front of the podium for the first time and utter a falsehood. Why did he do that? It undermines the credibility of the entire White House press office on day one.
Don't be so overly dramatic about it, Chuck. You're saying it's a falsehood, and Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts to that.
Largest ever. This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe.
In front of that podium to utter a provable falsehood. Look, alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
This This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe.
Yes. Yes, you see, there's Burgles, and Burgles is getting closer. And to sum it up, I think that Donald Trump is not up to the task of holding the watch. He's dropped the watch before and broke his oath. But this time he is constantly seditious. He is just eroding us, sabotaging and dismantling us, and to take away our very eyes and ears. He is working to take away, he's working to take away our ability to be our own eyes and ears. You don't remove someone from a post that is bipartisan reporting financial data because you want, unless you want someone to report false data. We need someone who can handle the truth. We need from Donald Trump the ability to handle the truth. We need him to not take it out on a satellite or ostensibly take it out on a satellite to take the opportunity to destroy our eyes and ears. What he is trying to do He is trying to remove our ability to hear and think and feel for ourselves, removing a satellite that's meant to keep track of climate data is wartime level sabotage. This is sabotage. And so, having focused for a bit on this, now it's time to play for a bit and explore. We can do anything. Scarcity myths ending, bringing what our brains bring is how our brains bring some spring, that our spring makes thinking things, and thinking things make things that make thinking king or queen or delicious in any way that it doth spring, that it hath spring, that its stories sing. Emancipate something. Emancipatriate. This is Mystery Font 42 Ope Intuit. And we're talking today about sabotage. Talking about the dereliction with wanton vandalism to destroy the array of satellites, or to fire people who bring you truth with the same kind of clarity. And it is Mystery Font 42 Ope Intuit, and we want to be able to see the hokum such that we can be ready to perceive it, I suppose. And this is radio science brain. Mindness making aim. I know the name. I heard it in my brain. Activate. Mindness made the same game. Claim the nature aching bathing brains might aim to make us shake. The shaking, quivering ape, mind grapes, imaginations scrape above, scraping maze.
Radio science brain. The A's arrange and contain. Curiosity grade, waking wax out of Wayne mind Please activate today. Nature or aims would aid to ape. Make that shape. Imagination ape. How can we deliver safe space and grace? Imagination ace. Imagine this grace can be reigned. Imagination sane. Radio science brain. Imagination aim might main. Imagination aim be nature. Your creation would aim to shape. This is a dream awake. Pretend love is sane. Mindless main we contain. Radio science brain. Known by the name. You are creating a thinking spring. Mind brain. Radio science brain. Pretend love is sane today. Make it a habit, make it play. Make play no safe space. Make play no safe space always. Imagine this contains helpful aid. Mindness come, kindness came. Mindness made this aim. Radio science brain, the A's imagination imagination. Pretend that love is sane today. Pretend that love is sane. Pretend that came can come. Pretend that come just came. Relate to arrays. If arrays are vandalized or crashed, we may yet be game to recreate or better the array and make new safe arrays, the A's, and always now.
future. This gray array campaigns. All satellites may be maintained or germanely repaired anyway, or replaced or remade. All our sensitivity and our need and our dreams are part of our liberty. We are life, we are free, and we get to pursue what makes us happy, not be ever kept. From to. If we're not actually able to have a moment without terror, we cannot begin to actually pursue happiness. It's not that we get to be alive where those words are on a document somewhere, but life, liberty themselves are threatened. Habeas corpus is not something to puff on and off of a website. We are the reality distortion fielding, and we can tell. We can tell when we're being lied to. We don't as easily tell ourselves that when we don't want to hear it. But isn't it good to believe one's ears and eyes? Isn't it good to take in data? Executive function is about the capacity of reason. Having the capacity to use reason and to preside, to be president, is to utilize that executive function as the chief executive agent of that kind of function. So if you're going around disabling people who are telling you the truth, for telling you the truth, for giving you fact, and leveling with you about actually that's the number. If you are crashing satellites that people who do science have great value upon, but if you're taking out things that tell us what's happening, that's not handling the truth. That's not presiding. We have massive dereliction of duty. It's truly insane. It's truly, truly insane. For reality, we must fight. He doesn't have the right to sabotage humanity. This is not only our smoke detector, but it's one way to say there's importance. There's importance to our scientific endeavors, and people who don't understand them shouldn't be crashing them into the ocean. And leaders should be able to take in the truth. Leaders should want counsel. And again, to bring it back to executive function and reason, that executive function is the capacity of having reason. That's not, I've got a piece of evidence that somebody told me something, so I have plausible deniability or something. It's not, I have written down a piece of evidence and I'm saying this piece of evidence is the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing. It's the capacity of reason. Being advisable, being open to incoming information or to remember or connect dots to say, you know, if nothing else, I need to be more mindful. Like, maybe I've got everything I need. Maybe the point is, I don't know how everybody else is thinking about this, and this situation is fraught with tension. So we enter thinking that there could be something else we don't know. The capacity of reason means that you are potentially advisable, even to see that your hero, who's taking you out for drinks and has a great idea, is about to show a weak moment and betray you, or that when something we don't want to happen happens. If we can see it coming in ourselves, if we can see it coming in another person and be there to say, hey, buddy, I love you, but let me help you here. I'm not going to let you fail either one of us. To say, hey, Mr. President, absolutely not. No. Because what he's doing with crashing satellites that look at issues like climate change and other germane kinds of things, if you don't like what it's saying, that's not a reason to destroy it. Again, the point is, the Statue of Liberty, that's all of us. She's not just symbolic of us, she is all of us. And she's walking out of chains, she's free. And she has illumination. She has intelligence. And someone is trying to take out her eyes. That's where we are. Someone is trying to take out Liberty's eyes. That's not good. Donald Trump might say he's doing this to himself, but he's not. He's doing this to liberty. He is working to remove Liberty's eyes. He's working to remove our eyes. Yes, it's absolutely about privatization, but it's more than that. He's not only looking to let corporations privatize weather and have people pay individually and with price surging. its ongoing degradation of the idea of humanity being germane and all of us being part of that. The idea that he's trying to remove is the idea that I think we need to foster. And that idea we need to foster is this. The idea that what's good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what's good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. Right, Burgles? Right, Burgles? You're still hanging out, right? I can chart you over there. There we are. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. The idea that what is good for people is for everyone. Do you know what a ball of yarn is called? A ball of yarn is called a clue. This is mystery font 42. Who are you?